It is November. The year is 2021. We're going to start off the month with some motivation. Specifically, we're going to talk about motivation step by step. Now, this might not be the type of video that you were expecting from me, but I want to show you what's possible if you just take things step by step. That even applies to fitness and nutrition. But today I wanted to kind of switch it up and talk about motivation. Now, before we dive into the steps themselves, let me explain why I decided to do this video in the first place. This actually came from one of our members asking for some help with consistency. So the conversation went a little something like this. Okay, she says, "Hey, I'm struggling to stay consistent with my diet. I get distracted easily. Can you help?" What? And I responded with, "Yeah, I can definitely help you with that. Before I do, you need to understand something. You don't have a consistency problem. You have a motivation problem." Then she replied with, "Well, how do I fix that?" I said, "I'll send you a video." Here we are. So if you're watching this and you've been struggling with motivation, whether it's with your diet, your training, school, work, business, relationships, whatever it is, then this is the video for you. These are the exact steps that I personally follow every single day to make sure that I stay motivated. Step no? 1 is to identify your why. You need to know why you're doing what you're doing. Your why needs to be strong enough to pull you out of bed every morning. It needs to be powerful enough to overcome any obstacle. This ties into the saying that I always talk about, which is, why does your why? Think about it. Why do you have a goal? What is it going to do for you? How is it going to change your life? If you don't have a compelling reason to do what you're doing, then you won't be able to do it consistently. This is why most people quit their diets within a few weeks. They don't have a strong enough why. Most people don't follow through on their goals because, again, their why wasn't strong enough. So think about your goal and really ask yourself why. Why do you want to lose weight? Why do you want to build muscle? Why do you want to improve your grades? Why do you want to start that business? Whatever it is, figure out your why. Once you have a crystal clear understanding of why you're doing what you're doing, then you'll have the motivation to take the next step, which is to set a deadline. Every goal needs a deadline, or you'll never accomplish it. Famous quote, "A goal without a deadline is just a dream," really resonates with me. Deadlines provide focus. They give you direction, and they give you a sense of urgency. When you have a deadline, you know exactly what you need to do and by when you need to do it. Now, this doesn't mean that you should be rushing around like a madman trying to finish everything last minute. What a deadline does is it forces you to prioritize and it helps you eliminate distractions. So let's say that you want to lose weight, but you're not in a rush. Well, that's fine. Set a deadline for yourself. Maybe it's in 3 months, maybe it's in 6 months. But having a deadline will force you to prioritize your workouts and your nutrition over going out drinking or playing video games all day. Because when you have a deadline, you know exactly what you need to do and by when you need to do it. Next, and this is a big one, keep your eye on the prize. Never lose sight of your ultimate goal. It can be really hard sometimes, especially if you're working on a long-term goal, because there are going to be days where you feel like giving up. You need to push past those feelings. You need to stay focused on the prize. Visualize yourself accomplishing your goal. Picture how you'll feel when you do. Let's say that you want to start a business, but you're stuck in your 9-to-5 job. There are going to be days when you feel unmotivated, days when you want to quit and go back to being an employee instead of an entrepreneur. Those are the days that you need to keep your eye on the prize. Visualize yourself running that successful business. Picture the freedom that you'll have, the flexibility, the money, and let that motivate you to keep moving forward. Another thing that I found helpful is to reward yourself. This is basically giving yourself a pat on the back for a job well done. Could be something small like watching an episode of your favorite TV show after a long day of work, or it could be something bigger like buying yourself a new pair of shoes after hitting a major milestone. Whatever it is, make sure that you reward yourself for your accomplishments, no matter how big or small. This is a great way to stay motivated because it gives you something to look forward to. It gives you a nice little buffer at the end of the tunnel. And who doesn't like a nice reward at the end of a job well done? Just please don't use food as a reward. Instead, go for experiences, material items, or other forms of self-care. Next, surround yourself with the right people. The people that you surround yourself with have a huge impact on your motivation. If you're trying to lose weight, but all your friends want to go out and eat junk food, then it's going to be really tough to stay motivated. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with people who support your goals, people who understand and share your values, then you'll be much more likely to stay motivated. This is why I recommend that you find a workout buddy or join a group fitness class. Having other people around you that are also working towards their goals can be extremely motivating. You can encourage each other on tough days, celebrate each other's accomplishments, and hold each other accountable. And if you're going through something in your personal life, having a group of friends who understand what you're going through can be invaluable. Sometimes just knowing that you're not alone in this world can be enough to motivate you to keep going. The next tip is to use visual reminders. A great way to stay motivated is to use visual reminders of your goals. This could be a vision board with pictures and quotes that inspire you. It could be a list of your goals that you write down and post somewhere where you see it every day. Or it could be something simple like a rubber band that you wear on your wrist that reminds you of why you're redoing what you're redoing. I used to love making these vision boards when I was younger. I would cut out pictures from magazines and newspapers and glue them onto a poster board. I would write down quotes that inspired me, and I would hang that board in my bedroom where I would see it every day. It's a simple trick, but it works. Our brains are wired to respond to visuals. It's why we remember pictures more than words. And it's why we're more likely to take action when we see a clear path in front of us. Use this to your advantage. Find ways to visualize your goals and use those visuals to motivate you. Finally, my last tip for staying motivated is to break down your goals into smaller steps. This is a really important one, and it's something that I recommend you do, no matter what goal you're trying to accomplish. Breaking down your goals into smaller steps makes them seem less daunting, and it gives you a sense of accomplishment along the way. For example, let's say that you want to read more books. Instead of setting a goal to read 50 books in a year, break it down into smaller goals. Maybe it's reading 1 book a month or reading 10 pages a day. When you break down your goals into smaller steps, you're more likely to stick to them because you don't feel overwhelmed. You just focus on the next small step in front of you, and you don't worry about the rest. This is a proven psychological principle called progressive goal setting. It means that you should start with a small goal that is easy to achieve and then slowly increase the difficulty over time. By doing this, you'll build momentum and motivation towards your larger goals. So break down your goals into smaller steps and watch yourself accomplish amazing things. So those are my tips for staying motivated. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. It only takes a second, and it helps out a lot. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.